Have you ever seen a giraffe from up close? If you haven't, this is how it looks. And compared to a human, it's this big. But imagine this giraffe grows wings and starts flying in the air. It would be really interesting, right? Yes, if a giraffe starts flying, it's gonna be really crazy. But the thing that's gonna fly has a beak like this. And just looking at the beak makes your heart shiver. But don't worry, this thing went extinct around the same time of the dinosaurs, meaning around 65 million years ago. The name of this bird is Quetzalcoatlus. They put a name so nobody actually learns it. But that was a joke, you can learn harder ones. This thing just looks like a bird, but deep beneath, it's a reptile. A reptile that has wings. Around the dinosaur times, the first thing that flew was a pterosaurus. That was also a dinosaur that had wings. Unlike other birds you're used to, the wings of this thing was not made out of feathers, but it was with skin, like a crocodile skin or a snake skin. The life story of this thing on Earth is very interesting because there was all types of sizes. The smallest one was the size of a bat, but the biggest one was the biggest thing that flew in history. Quetzalcoatlus. So this thing was a pterosaurus as well. If you've seen our video about the terror bird, you'll know that it's a huge bird, but this thing did not fly. And Quetzalcoatlus could fly, and it was a lot bigger than the terror bird. Terror bird had a height of around 3 meters, but the Quetzalcoatlus had a height of 8 meters. In the year 1971, the fossils of this bird was founded in Big Bend National Park in Texas. The fossil they found was a piece of the wing, and they estimated the age was 68 million years ago. After finding this fossil, the archaeologists were dumbfounded, and they would not believe that this huge piece was a wing. They asked, is it possible that a wing could be this big? Either way, because it was founded in Texas, they gave it an Aztec name, the same name that's very hard to pronounce, Quetzalcoatlus, and in Aztecs, it's referring to a flying serpent. They still haven't been able to find a fossil that's complete. They found the different pieces in different parts of the world. But it's still not complete. If you find it anywhere, let us know, because they'll probably pay a lot of money for it, just for research purposes. Archaeologists believe when this thing opened its wings, it had 11-meter wingspan, and that means the wingspan was as big as this plane. And they believe that this thing was a herbivore, and they don't know if it attacked any animal. Some archaeologists also believe that this thing didn't even fly, and just like a giraffe, it would eat off the ground. But more scientists believe that this thing used to fly, because the bone structure of the wings and body seem very powerful. Powerful in a way that it could fly in the air. But some of them say that this thing could not fly from the ground, but it could go next to a cliff and start flying from there, kind of like a skydiver. But if a skydiver doesn't have that little jet engine behind them, they fall straight down. Quetzalcoatlus could flap its wing and fly away. Some scientists in the world, like Julia Molnar, which has a PhD in archaeology, believe the Quetzalcoatlus used to start flying like this. So meaning it didn't need a cliff or a runway to run. This group of scientists believe even though this thing was this giant, but it was very lightweight, and they believe it only weighed around 250 kilograms. And they believe that this thing could start flying like this. It was kind of like a spring-loaded bird. They say if you compare this to the giraffe, even though they're the same body style and size, but it weighs 1/4 of a giraffe. A giraffe weighs around 1 ton. Scientists found some things about this bird that really blow our minds. They say when this bird started flying, it would fly up to 4,500 meters, and it didn't need much food when it was up there. Probably it didn't want to confront any dinosaurs, it would just stay up there and chill. Do you know how long it would stay up there? They say this thing would be mostly in the air. It would probably come down 1 week at a time, eat its food and water, and then start flying up again. This thing could reach a speed of 130 kilometers an hour. Very lightweight and a huge wingspan and an aerodynamic body shows us that this thing had a high speed and it could go very high, and without any issues it would stay up there. It's cool to note that this is one of the newest fossils found from a dinosaur, around 1971, but other dinosaurs were founded more than 100 years ago. Archaeologists are really trying to find the pieces to complete this puzzle. Like they haven't found the skull yet. Some scientists believe since this thing would spend such a long time in the air, it could fly to weird places. They say so it would start flying for a week and it didn't need any food and water. It could literally fly for 13,000 kilometers, and that means it could jump from a continent to another continent. There's a chance that you could find the fossils of this thing on every continent in the world. You should also know that this thing was not a carnivore. At least they think, and they're not sure. But some scientists believe that this thing would even hunt down animals in the air. And since it didn't have any teeth, it could swallow like a seagull. A seagull literally swallows a fish whole. But all these what ifs and stuff will only be proven until the whole skeleton is found. And at that point, we can kind of get a better idea on how this thing lived. But it's a cool bird. Imagine you're walking on the street, something like this flies over your head. In this day and age, probably everybody would take a selfie with it. Please leave a comment and tell us what you think.